Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel MFC. I am here today to complain about Phasmophobia potentially ruining their game. Developers of Phasmophobia Kinetic Games ruining Phasmophobia. So I'm going to give you an overview of the game itself and some kind of important details that you need to know. Then we also need to talk about the changes that they want to make and the changes I think they should make. As a person who has been playing Phasmophobia for years, let's get into it. Developers, please don't ruin this game for me or for the rest of us. That'll be your downfall. So the game overview, Phasmophobia, is a ghost hunting game. You're not trying to get rid of the ghost. The main point of the game is to find out what kind of ghost is haunting a location and proving that it is haunting the location. And the way that you do both of those things is you are given various types of equipment. So like Dot's projector, which is a grid that you can see the ghost walking through the lights. Video cameras, photographs, crucifix, EMF readers, spirit boxes, a special writing book that ghosts can write in, etc. So you get all this different various types of equipment that throughout the game, as you earn money, you can level up, making the equipment better and better, tier 3 being the best. Great, fantastic. Well, as you go through and play, currently, the way that you can get the most money is by completing the 3 objectives, getting the ghost type correct, and getting a perfect game. Includes finding the bone. So on every map, there is some form of bone that you can collect in your trophy case. There's a skull, a rib cage, a jaw, a hand, a foot, a spinal cord, a fibia, and then I think it's supposed to be an ulnar. It's like this little thin bone. And so you have this plethora of bones that you can find. And I think, is there a pelvis? I think that you can get a pelvis-like region, like the bottom half of the spine, hip area. But anyway, so you can collect these bone fragments, and you need to get the bone. You can also take a picture of the bone. You need to have 5 unique photos, 3 unique recording. So they have given you a tape recorder and you can play sounds back, which is really cool. And you need to have 5 videos, unique videos. And some of this can be videos or picture of equipment. The ghost blowing out a candlelight can be a video and a recording. The crucifix burning, which means it's stopping the ghost from hunting. So the ghost went to go hunt and the crucifix stopped it. That can be a video, photo, and a sound recording. Ghost writing can be a photo and a video. All of that stuff. And currently, a player can only carry, if you were to play it right, the max items you can have is 5. Now, the things that you can actually have in your hand is 3. So like a flashlight, and then 2 other pieces of equipment. You can have a head cam on that doesn't count as your hands holding something, and then a lighter. Lighter or matches, depending on what tier you have. Great, fantastic. And then throughout the game, to help you, you can also find cursed objects. The cursed objects are a Ouija board, a magic mirror. The Ouija board, and whenever you use these things, you have a sanity meter, and the lower your sanity, the more likely the ghost is to hunt. And different ghosts have different sanity ranges at which they can hunt. The earliest hunting ghost is the demon, and then everything else kind of follows. So then each ghost has certain evidence. So the demon, for instance, it has UV freezing temperatures and ghost writing. Oh no, not ghost writing, ultraviolet, my bad. And UV is you take a blue light, an ultraviolet light, and it shows like ectoplasm, I don't know, or just ghost energy, where you can see footprints if the ghost walks in salt, unless it's a wraith, and then handprints. And if it has weird handprints, like an extra finger on the handprint, that is something that is unique to the obake. And so you don't have to get all 3 pieces of evidence, and the higher the difficulty is, the less evidence that you're given. In nightmare mode, you're not given any evidence. You just have to kind of guess by the ghost behavior. So you put down some salt. If the ghost doesn't walk through it, it's a wraith, because wraiths have the ability to walk over salt without messing it up. And then if it's a mimic, even on nightmare or you put no evidence as a customization, you can still see orbs with the mimic, because mimics will always make ghost orbs, but it's not one of their 3 evidence. So if you get 4 pieces of evidence, that's a mimic. Or if you have no evidence and you see orbs, mimic. Fantastic, fun, dandy, and great. Then the changes that they want to make are they have a plethora of maps and locations that you can choose from to ghost hunt. And the most loved map, the most played map for players, is the map called Tanglewood Drive. This is a mostly ranch style house, although there is a basement. But for the most part, everything's on one level, and then there's an underground basement area. And every location, like the cursed objects, will always spawn in the same area. Like in Tanglewood, the summoning circle will always be in the front part of the basement. The Ouija board will always be in the back of the basement, etc. So you go around, you can get a photo of the thing, and sometimes as a part of your weekly task that can give you bonus money, it'll say use a cursed object. And so as I was saying, there was the Ouija board, the summoning circle, there's a magic mirror, and if you use the mirror, you can see where the ghost room is. But the longer you hold the mirror, it quickly drains your sanity. Then there are tarot cards. I think there's 10 different tarot cards, and each one does something. There's the Fool, which turns every tarot card into the Fool. There's the Moon, the Sun, the High Priestess, the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, Hanged Man, Hermit. What am I missing? Death, the Devil. Yeah, I think there's 10 or 12 that you can get. And each one affects your sanity in some way. Some of them give you sanity. Some of them resurrect players. Some of them make the ghost do an event. Whatever. Then you have the voodoo doll. The voodoo doll has 10 pins in it, and there's a heart pin. And when you right-click on it, it activates a pin into the voodoo doll. And if you get the heart pin, that automatically starts a cursed hunt. A cursed hunt is longer than all of the other hunts. And then we also have the music box, which is it's gotta be the worst cursed object in there. But if you activate the music box, it makes a song play, and the ghost will sing along with the tune, and then it causes a cursed hunt. You can only use it once. The summoning circle, as long as you have high enough sanity, you can light all of the candles around the pentagram, and the ghost will appear in the summoning circle. Great time to get a video, photo, etc. And you have a monkey paw. The monkey's paw is you get wishes on the monkey paw, and you just say, I wish for sanity, I wish for a weather change, whatever it is that you wish for. It gives you a certain, like if you wish for safety, the ghost will always know where you are, even though it will open up a hiding spot that maybe was unavailable before. And it also drains your sanity or has some adverse effect, typical monkey paw. When the ghost is hunting you, one of the ways you can get away from the ghost is there is incense which blinds the ghost, with the smoke, the holy smoke blinds the ghost for a little bit, so you can run past it. It can't detect where you are for about, I think it's, the spirit has the longest thing with the incense, but it's like 3 seconds or something. And then the tier 3 incense, the highest one, it will make the ghost stand in place. It will cause it to freeze in place for a few seconds. And a normal ghost hunt is about 10 to 12 seconds. And then a cursed hunt is, I think it's 20 seconds. It's a really long time to be trying to escape. And if the ghost gets you, you die and you will lose 50% of your profits at the end of the game, or at the end of that particular session. So there are some ghosts like the Dio you cannot hide from. There are hiding spots, and if the ghost can't see you, if you lose line of sight, then a lot of the ghosts can't find you. They're like looking for you, and sometimes they will open closets, but you can hold it closed against the ghost. So while it's fighting with you, its hunting time is wearing out. But the Diogen, commonly lovingly known as the Dio, that particular ghost you can't hide from. It's always able to detect the players. So you can't hide behind something. Line of sight means nothing to this ghost. It knows where you are, even on a different level of a house. So you have to run away from this ghost. And ghosts have different hunting behaviors. They like, when the ghost shows up, it blinks in and out of apparition, and how many blinks it does, if it changes its ghost form, because I think there's 3 lady ghost forms and 4 male ghost forms, and then a child ghost form. And so that's like a skill of the Obake. And some of them, when they start hunting, if 3 firelights get blown out, the Onryo will immediately start a hunt, etc. So ghost hunting behavior is a way that you can find out what kind of ghost it is, and that's the main way you want to do that if you're on nightmare mode or a no evidence mode, because you're not going to get any pieces of evidence to knock down what the ghost is. You have to just go based off of their behavior. Yokai never know, if once they lose sight of you, they don't know where they're going. They'll walk right past you if you're not right in front of them. Very tunnel vision the yokai is. So you can loop around pieces of furniture like kitchen islands, couches, or in some cases, like on Willow Street in Tanglewood, you can run around the vehicles in the garage and just run the ghost hunting timeout, which you have to do with the Dio. Like I said, Tanglewood is the most loved map. It's the most played map because it's really good by yourself. It's a really good beginner starter map. It was one of the first one of the main handful on the game to begin with. And no matter what level you're playing, Tanglewood is a fun, good map it's a good layout and everything. So this is what Tanglewood looks like. This is what they want to change it to. Listen, I'm all up for, we're going to update like the art. We're going to update the graphics so that it looks better. It keeps up with the game. Like, it's been out for a long time. Fine. But this kitchen is ugly. Okay, devs, I know that they always say that they artistically wanted to, it looks ugly. This is an ugly kitchen. All right. And it's a worse kitchen than what we currently have with Tanglewood. So not only will, and this again will fundamentally interrupt the gameplay. The dining room right across from the kitchen in Tanglewood is not a good looping spot. You get stuck a lot, and there's often something in front of the sliding glass door that stops you from being able to rotate properly. And the living room is you can't loop in the living room, and there's nowhere else you can loop except the vehicle in the garage. So the kitchen is a great spot also because you can find out if it's a poltergeist, because poltergeists throw things really aggressively, and there's a lot of stuff like utensils, dishes, and etc. that can be thrown in the kitchen. So it's a really good way to see what the ghost behavior is, see what it's doing, and you can loop it. They want to get rid of that and just add this little corner hiding spot, which is a terrible idea because that doesn't work. That is a you're gonna die hiding spot. Because there's nothing to actually close you in like a closet or a locker, the ghost will find you and kill you every single time, just like it does on Ridgeview. And this is because the developers very early in the game changed a mechanic because you used to be able to just hide behind a door. Early Phasmo, if a door was just open, like it went from this to this, you could hide here and the ghost wouldn't go around. Like if the ghost went around you, it would still be able to bypass you. But then they changed it so that the ghost can always see around a door and be able to kill you. You can't just duck and hide behind an open door. You have to actually be in something. So you're removing not only a potential hiding spot by being able to crouch behind the kitchen island, you're adding this mechanically cannot work hiding spot. And you also are making a much uglier looking kitchen. Like that's not an update, that's a downgrade. And the other thing that's going to this, like that aesthetically just wouldn't be fun, and we just wouldn't play Tanglewood. We would just go to Willow Street or Edgeview's pretty good. Edgeview's a good single person, couple people map. With looping spots and actual hiding spots. That's very good. In the other thing that the developers want to change, and this is going to ruin the gameplay for the game as a whole if they do this. Apparently, right now, you just right-click on your mouse and it activates. You can use whatever it is you have in your hand. You can light your incense, you can turn on and off the spirit box, whatever. Fantastic. They want to change it so that there will be a 2-second delay when you use the mouse click, because they want to add an animation where you can see your character using the equipment. The one that they demonstrated was in a low tier EMF reader, like the tier 1 EMF. I don't need an animation interrupting my gameplay, because if I'm getting chased by a ghost in a hunt, especially if it's like a revenant, which is a really fast ghost, that like beelines for you, it's one of the fastest ghosts in the game. I don't have a 2-second delay time to activate my incense. I don't need an animation. It's not going to make the gameplay better to have me be able to watch a hand come up and flick the incense to light it. I don't need that. That's interrupting and ruining gameplay, and it's just going to be annoying. You can't go from like right click thing turns on to right click 2-second 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I don't need that. Nobody needs that. That will just make people stop playing your game entirely, okay? It'd be like, well, that was a fun game before the developers ruined it with animation. Like, we don't need that. I don't need my favorite map. And not just me personally. This is by far, every poll, Tanglewood is the best map. People almost never play the bigger maps just because they're annoying and frustrating. Brownstone High School and the prison are frustrating and annoying to deal with, even if you have the max amount of players, which is 4. So most of the time, people play the houses and the smaller maps. And they said that they recognized this, and that's why they made Nell's Diner a small map. Like a 1-level smaller map, because that's what people like to play. And so it seemed at first that they were like, oh, the developers know their game, they know their players, and they know how to make them happy. This 2-second delay thing is not going to make me happy. We have the 2 homes that you can kind of do that are like 1 level-ish, are Willow Street and Tanglewood Drive. Make Oakwood Avenue, okay? Or Oak Avenue. And then you can add that ugly kitchen already being a part of the map and redo all of that. Okay? Because they're like, when they Point Point Hope is a struggle map because it's just this. It's just daunting to go up and down this winding staircase to different levels, and it's a it's not a fun map. It's not a fun map. It's an annoying map. So don't take away the map that everyone loves. Like, I don't know, is that their plan? Like, oh, if we make this change that will ruin this map for people, then they'll play the other maps. That's not a good idea. So what do I want to see? I've been complaining for about 10 minutes about all these problems that they have. Here's what they should actually do. If you want to actually update your game and make it better, one, don't give me a 2-second delay. Okay, we already, like I said that 60 times already. Don't do it. That's a bad idea. The second thing that they should do is they just recently added a ghost. They added 3 ghosts. They just recently added a new map, Nell's Diner. And they also did a really nice rework to the Grafton Farmhouse. All of that in the last year. So what they need to work on is new ghost forms. Like I said, there's only a handful of ghost forms that the ghost can have. Like there's the child, and then there's like, we call her Lisa, the grudge looking, ring looking girl in the pajamas. Then there's like the creepy smile woman. There's only a handful. Update your ghost forms. Give us new ghost forms. Like, add those. Make there be different shapes and sizes of ghosts, more than what you currently have. That's what you need to work on. The second thing that I think they actually need to work on is giving us some new cursed objects. The cursed objects are a lot of fun. And they give you a lot of information, and you can kill your friends with them if you really want to in game. Or get yourself done into, like, that can turn on like insta karma you. So what do I want to see as far as cursed objects go? I would like to see a crystal ball, perhaps, acting similar to the mirror, but instead of giving you the ghost location, it shows you a piece of evidence. So like it could show you the writing book or the dots projector or something, and that's a piece of evidence related to the ghost in the house. That would be really cool for a no evidence run where it's like, okay, the ghost writing, so whatever ghost this is, it has ghost writing as its thing, and in the game you are given a journal and you have a list of evidence next to a list of ghosts, and when you click on a piece of evidence as either having it or crossing it out, it will eliminate or highlight ghosts that it could be. And so I think that would be a really fun thing, a little added element. I also think we could use like either like some kind of a ring or like an ancient Egyptian amulet that lights up when you're in the ghost room, or glows when you're in the ghost room, or when the ghost is nearby. Because just like the Ouija board, if you ask where it is, it's going to say where it currently is, not necessarily its favorite room. So like the ring could have X amount of time on it, or the amulet could have X amount of time on it, or the longer you wear it or hold it, it drains sanity, etc. I would like to see some kind of a statue. Like it could be like speaking of the crystal ball, it could be the like, you know, those carnival games. I'm gonna put a picture of it in here. You know, like the Great Zambubu or whatever. And it could have the crystal ball, and you could have like things to activate it with, or you would have to go around the map and pick out, find coins or something like on the dressers in the rooms to be able to use it to see what the evidence is. I think that would be a really cool cursed object element. I would also love to see like a statue. You know, maybe it could be a bust or just like one of those small statues of a person. And like when you activate it, or it could either like have different stances to be in the ghost room. Like when you see it, it could be pointing a direction to where the ghost room is, or it could have its hands up like this, representing that this is the ghost room. Or you would have like the longer you carry it, it drains your sanity. But if you carry it into a room, it could make a movement and change movements when it is in the ghost room. Those are just things that I think would actually be fun and add to it. So yeah, I think that if they try to so yeah, I think the delay thing will ruin the gameplay entirely and will make the game unplayable. I've seen things where people were like, well, the developers don't want people to loop the ghost. They don't like the looping strategy. They want you to hide. Well, that's boring. That's annoying. And I can't do that with a Dio. You have a ghost. Well, there's actually 3 ghosts I can think of off the top of my head. The Raiju, the Diane, and the Dio. And the Revenant to a certain degree, the Phantom to a certain degree, that they can find you no matter what when they use their abilities. So that just sounds like, don't ruin your game, developers, Kinetic Games, please. You have a good game. If you want to change a bunch of other stuff, you need to work on a new game. Leave that if you're not going to make good changes that make the game more playable, more fun, because that's not challenging, that's annoying. Having a delay wait for equipment use, that doesn't add to the gameplay, it takes away from it. And that will just make people go, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. Bye. That is my opinion, but that has been a shared opinion amongst the community. Listen to your players and just make a different location with that ugly kitchen, first of all. Aesthetically, we just won't play Tanglewood if you do it, but the delay thing, that's horrible. That is a terrible, terrible idea. Don't do that. And work on ghost forms, adding more, making them different, and also adding some new cursed objects. Those would enhance gameplay a lot more than just making it impossible for me to escape the ghost. If you I don't like anything that's anti-player, right? I don't want it to be anti-player. Any game where it's like, well, we want you to die more. People aren't dying enough. Don't do that. That's all I have to say on that. It sounds like they're downgrading their game to being unplayable if they actually go through with some of the things they've hinted at. That's all I got on that. I'll talk to you guys later.